every level of wealth in 13 minutes. Bro, what are these videos that are popping up, bro? Every level of wealth?
To the rest of the world.
It is.
According to the population size, we get this picture. I'm going to rank them from poorest to richest and show you how people live around the world. We'll start with farmers living with less than $2 per day and climb all the way to Elon Musk. And I'm gonna make a bet. You probably can't answer these two simple questions about the world.
I think like most of the time, bro, people can't even comprehend how rich some people are, bro. Like there's like rich and then there's like too rich. Like one time I was doing like this there's like a website that somebody sent me. It was like Jeff Bezos, how much money he has. But when I started going through that website, I couldn't even comprehend the amount of wealth that that man has, bro. Anyways, you know, I think this video will be interesting to see the different perspective of like, you know, how it might be for different people, whether it's poor, rich, everything. You know, it's always interesting to see life in different perspective. Just like how one time I was going through my phone and I saw a video putting the galaxy into perspective of how vast it was compared to like the Earth. Like Earth, we think is big, and then boom, it zoomed out into the galaxy, and I was like, whoa. I couldn't even comprehend that because it's like if you don't know, then you don't know, you know.
Fewer than 2% of my viewers got them right.
We all make
Question
100,000 a
one,
month.
where does the majority of the world population live? A. Low income, B. Middle income, or C. High income countries? And 2. Since year 2000, has global wealth inequality A. increased, B. stayed the same, or C. decreased?
Oh, wait. Where does the majority population of the world live? Oh, I'd probably assume like it's gonna be low income countries. I think I heard a fun fact like, oh, my face cam is in the way. I heard that like the more money economy has or like a society has, like less kids or less people there are. So this one's like a trick question because you would think that like high income would equal more population, but I actually think it's the opposite. So this one I'm gonna say low income, but if I'm wrong, then I'm gonna look crazy anyways. Or not crazy, but just dumb. Since year 2000, global wealth inequality has, I would say, damn, I want to say stayed more or less the same, but maybe it's increased. I feel like this one's a trick question. I feel like it's gotten worse, or is it better? I'm gonna say increased. All right, let's leave it at increased. I think. Okay. So this one, you guys think middle? You guys think it's middle income countries for this one? Really? Middle and increased? Okay. Let's look. Okay.
Hold on to your answers. We'll come back to them.
Oh, okay.
This video was inspired by the book Factfulness, and I also took inspiration from these videos. I'm gonna rank our countries starting at the bottom. According to the World Bank, the 10 countries with the lowest GDP per capita in the world are all African countries. The more the bubbles are to the left, the lower the GDP per capita, and the country with the lowest GDP per capita is Burundi. Let's see how people live there. The median wage in Burundi is $1.80 per day. Each woman has an average of around 5 children. Child mortality is high, and 5% of children don't make it to 5 years old. Families are large, and most of them depend on agriculture to make a living. Most people live in rural areas, often in houses made with mud bricks. The Gapminder Foundation documented how families live around the world and made their footage freely available. This family with 1 woman and 4 children had a total income of 90 cents per day.
What? You're telling me this family only pulls in $1 a day? Oh, that's crazy, bro. Bro, this video, see, this is what I mean. It's always interesting to watch videos like this because it just puts your life into perspective. There's always in life somebody with more, and there's always in life with somebody less, bro. It's like at the end of the day, you gotta love yours and be grateful. And wow, man, that's so crazy that there's families out there making $1 a day, bro. What?
They live in a house with no electricity. Light comes from fire, which they also use to cook. This family sleeps on a bed made of straw, and this is their toilet. To find water, they need to walk to natural sources and carry that water back home. Most families in Burundi live in extreme poverty, and that's also true for most people in these countries. But so far, our chart only includes about 3.6% of the world population. I'm going to keep adding more countries until we get to about a quarter of the population. We get mostly African countries like Ethiopia and Nigeria, and Asian countries like Pakistan and Bangladesh. I'm going to pick Bangladesh and see how people live there. The median income in Bangladesh is $4.78 per day. Each woman has an average of 2.3 children. This family has 5 people, and they live in a house with a metal roof. They have beds, they have access to a pipe well, which is how most people get their water in Bangladesh. They have a toilet and a place to wash their hands. They also have basic phones. Their house has electricity, like more than 99% of households in Bangladesh. This might not sound like a big deal, but in Portugal, a high-income country in the country where I'm from, if we go back to 1970, only 64% of the population had access to electricity. Some people think that countries like Bangladesh will always stay poor, but the reality is that Bangladesh in some aspects is already more developed than the Portugal my parents grew up in. If we go back to our bubbles and add colors based on the income level according to the World Bank, we see that even though we're at the bottom 23% of the population, most countries in this chart are not considered low income. Bangladesh is considered medium income, or lower middle income to be precise.
What? $5 a day is lower middle? Wow. That's crazy, bro. That is insane. $5 a day is considered lower middle, not even low. Oh wow, that's crazy, bro. I have friends that are from like I'm seeing like Bangladesh and Morocco, you know, and Pakistan, you know. It's crazy to see this because they would always tell me like whenever I would talk to my friends' parents that were Bengali or Pakistani, they would always tell me like, you know, it was very hard for them to grow up. So then that's why when I see like my friends' parents like come to this country, they're always very hard working, bro. Because it's like you're coming from a situation where there's nothing, and then right here when you make it to America, it's like a gold mine. It's go time, bro. If you work hard, like there's more opportunity, there's more ways to make more money and shit, you know. Like I have a friend, like his dad is Bengali, and he grew up so poor. He came to America, studied his off, got a scholarship, got a degree, started a business. Well, first he was a computer scientist, you know, with his education that he got here and he earned. And then like from there, then he stacked up money and then he started a 7-Eleven. Before you guys make any brown jokes, but you know, about him being brown and having a 7-Eleven. Hey, he started pulling in money, bro. Like that 7-Eleven made him a millionaire. And then from there he started a Subway and then another millionaire, and he brought one property and then another property. But he came to America, broke as shit, immigrated from Bangladesh, but he worked so hard. And he'd always tell me and my friend like people have it so much harder than us, so when you're here, don't take this for granted. So if you watching, I feel like from the States, for example, like you are blessed, you know, because my friend's dad came with nothing, poor as fuck, and he built up to a millionaire. So like, but every day he worked though. He did work hard as shit, you know, but seeing this, it just puts it into different perspective, bro. It's like
most of the world population lives in middle-income countries. A question that only 27% of my audience got right. I also got it wrong. In 2000, 29% of people lived in extreme poverty. Nowadays, that percentage has fallen to less than a third. In a single generation, billions transitioned out of poverty. And while that was happening, another quiet transformation took place. Millions of people transitioned out of their poor problem-solving skills with Brilliant, the sponsor of this video. Brilliant.
Whoa, what's going on? What's going on? Whoa. Not to my viewers, you're not. We'll skip right there. Right here.
We now see India and other countries across Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Let's see how people live in Indonesia.
They almost caught me lacking, Krons.
The median wage is around $6 per day, and women have on average around 2 children. Most families now live in urban areas, not rural. As countries develop, the population tends to migrate from the countryside into urban areas. This family of 4 lives in a house with a bathroom, a kitchen, bedrooms, and other amenities we didn't see in the previous income levels. Motorbikes are a common means of transportation, and most people have access to internet and use smartphones. We're entering the richer half of the world. We now get mostly upper middle income countries from Latin America, Eastern Europe, Africa, and Asia, including China. Let's pick Brazil. The median wage in Brazil is about $13 per day. And in Brazil, women have on average 1.6 children. For the first time, we get a fertility rate below the replacement level. Wealthier countries tend to have lower fertility rates.
That's what I say earlier. I said I saw a fact where as the wealthier country or society gets, the less amount of kids they have. I mean, in America, $13 a day is not much, but if we look at, this is adding perspective, if we look at the grand picture of the whole world, $13 a day is still considered like you're in the middle. That's so crazy to me though, bro. That's crazy. $13 a day is considered middle part of the world, man.
Although hunger is still a problem in Brazil, more people die from obesity than undernutrition. As countries develop, the percentage of obese population also tends to increase. At this level of income, it's now common for people to have a car and a computer. Brazil is above the global average, but still far from the world's richest. If we add more bubbles, we start getting high-income countries. We're now at 90% of the world's population, and I'm gonna pick Spain. The median income is $41 per day. In countries like Spain, most people live in good quality housing. They have access to decent healthcare, social security, and public facilities. At this tier, you also start getting the freedom to travel to almost everywhere. A Spanish citizen can travel to a total of 189 countries visa-free. For most of the world, that is not the case. If we look at the passport index of every country, we see that lower income countries have a lower number of destinations they can visit without a visa. The freedom to travel the world depends on the income level of your country. Despite having good living standards compared to the rest of the world, many people in these countries haven't enjoyed the economic growth we got in countries like Bangladesh or Indonesia. I spoke with economist Branko Milanovic, one of the researchers behind the famous chart explaining this. It's called the elephant curve. On the x-axis, we have the income percentile of the global population. The chart shows us how much income has grown across the population in the 20 years up to 2008. The people around the 50th percentile of income, mostly people in Asia, saw big gains. But then for the Western middle class, the curve flatlines.
People who are around the 75th, 80th percentile of the world income distribution, which means they are richer than the Chinese, had very slow growth, and in many cases actually growth of close to 0% per year over 20 years.
And meanwhile, the global top 1% captured a large share of the growth, riding the wave of globalization. In recent years, the curve becomes smoother, but the pattern still holds. Many in the West feel stuck, while much of Asia has moved up. Let's move higher.
Yo, Melinda, take care. Eddie, are you taking notes? I'm taking notes right now. Yeah.
The final 10.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't understand the previous thing that just popped up. I think my brain might be too slow for whatever previous lines he just showed, bro. I'm not a economist, bro. But I think I'm following along. You know. Outside of that, I think I got the overall message so far. Yo, Destiny, right now we are learning every level of wealth in 13 minutes. It's a speed run, okay?
Percent of the world's population, we find the wealthiest countries such as the US. The median wage in the US is about $62 per day. Living standards are not super different from the previous year, but people can afford more things here. Americans tend to have bigger houses, bigger cars, and they can buy more things in general. Most Americans are quite rich compared to the rest of the world.
It is 11 to 12% of Americans who are in the global top 1%. And I think many of them don't realize that.
But this doesn't mean every American is rich. So far, we've only been looking at country averages, but inside each of these bubbles, there are both rich people and poor people.
Yeah, there's outliers, bro. Just because obviously you in China don't mean like you poor, and just because like in USA, just because you're in USA don't mean like you rich, you know what I mean? That's what I mean. It's good, but I like this video because it gives different perspective though.
We need to look at the inequality
Yo,
within
what's good,
countries.
like? Hello, Pancake.
The bubbles now show how much income the top 10% earn in each country. In the US, the top 10% get 47% of the income. The country with the highest income inequality is South Africa, where the top 10% get 65% of the income. And we're talking about income, which tells you how much money someone earns. But we should also look at the wealth, the accumulated worth of everything you own. It includes your savings, but also your house, your car, and your investments, making it arguably a better indicator of inequality. If we switch the chart from income to wealth inequality, the gap becomes even bigger. South Africa also has the highest wealth inequality, with the top 10% holding almost 86% of the total wealth.
Damn!
On the other end, in the Netherlands, they own 45%. Wealth inequality within countries has generally increased in the last decades. Each country has a different trend, but in the US, the top 10% owns 71% of the wealth in 2021, more than 25 years earlier. This number also went up in all of the world's top 10 economies. This can have negative impacts, and several economists argue that the more unequal a society, the weaker its institutions tend to become over time. The World Inequality Report argues that this was not inevitable, but a political choice. They argue that in the 80s, leaders like Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher pushed a series of policies that made private wealth go up and public wealth go down. So their argument here is that if governments own less, then in theory they're less capable of tackling inequality. But from now on, we're not going to talk about countries anymore. We're entering global wealth tiers. If your wealth is at least $1 million, then you're part of the global 1%. This could mean having $1 million in your bank account or just owning an expensive house. There are 82 million people in this group, and they own 38% of the world's wealth.
Whoa, what the fuck?
To make it to the top 0.01%, you need a wealth of at least $21 million. There are about 800,000 people in this group, and they own 11% of the world's wealth.
820,000 people in this life are in the top 0.001 or 0.01%. And you need to have 20 M's to your name? Bro, I'm so far from this, bro. What the fuck do you mean that's you, bro? What the fuck are you saying, bro? 800 is crazy. I can't lie, right? 820, bro. How many people out of this, bro? You know how many people there are in this world, bro? Bro, what? The odds of you running into like these people on a day-to-day, like on a normal day, is super rare. What? Yo, Sonny with the Ray. Oh, yes, sir. Yo, what's good, guys? Hello. Yo, shout out to Sonny. Everybody go follow your son girl. Yes, sir. Hey. What's good, y'all? I'm just reacting to a YouTube video. Come on now. What's good, everybody? Hello. White the baby. What's good? 23. Chimp. What's good? Chimmick. What's good? Hello. What's good, guys? Yo, my fault. I was too locked into economy right now. Yeah, we studying economy right now, okay? Will you let Sonny dye your hair? No. I'm not letting Sonny touch my. But I don't want to dye my hair. Period. All right. What's good, guys? Rafa, hello. Oxy, hello. You going to the Phase 4th party? Yes, I am going, Isaac. What's good? Ed, you know what to do now to get into the top 0.01% lock in? Yeah, bro. This is a whole different conversation, though, bro. This is insane. It's going to be crazy. Oh yeah, no, I'm excited. What are your thoughts on the economic state of the world? Right now, I'm noticing that there's a lot of issues, right? There's a lot of people that are, in unfortunate situations, that sometimes are not in their control or in their control, it's a lot of mixed things. I'm learning a lot. Like in some countries, they're only making $1 a day. Like what the And then another thing I'm learning right now as we speak is to be in the 0.01%, you need to have 21 M's to your name. Holy moly, bro. 21 M's is crazy, dude. We are going to the July 4th party. Yeah. Yo, pretty boy. Yo, be ready. All right. Scholar Eddie. Come on now. I'm on my scholarship right now, guys. Yeah. Come on now. What is your best takeaway from this video? The best takeaway so far, I'm not really done with this video, but like the best I would say is like, it's what I said prior to going into this video. It was like there's always gonna be someone with more and there's always gonna be someone with less. Just appreciate what you have, and then like obviously work hard and strive for more, but also know when to be grateful and appreciative. It's like a good balance. All right, you gotta have a good balance. Okay.
It's estimated that private jets are used by about 0.003% of the population, which would be about 30% of this group.
Billionaires.
If your wealth is at least $1 billion, then you're considered a billionaire. There are roughly 3,000 billionaires in the world, and they own 3% of the world's wealth. Over the years, the wealth of global billionaires has gone up, and the same is true for the people in the previous tier. But one billionaire takes the #1 position on Forbes. As of the making of this video, Elon Musk is the wealthiest person in the world with a net worth of almost $400 billion. Between 2020 and 2024, Elon Musk's wealth grew at an average rate of $1,300 per second.
Every second he's making or technically like net worth, like doesn't mean he's actually making it, but like in terms of theory, like what he's worth. Every second he's worth $1,300 more every second. Sheesh, bro. Nah, this is insane, bro.
If Elon Musk saw a $100 bill on the floor, it would literally not be worth his time to pick it up.
Oh, me? Yeah, I'm diving for that 100. What? It's literally not worth his time? Literally, you know how rich you gotta be able to say picking up that dollar bill, that $100 bill is literally not worth my time. It's literally not worth his time, literally. For me, I'm pushing, shoving, huffing and puffing, bro. Holy moly.
So now that we've reached the top, let's
bro.
revisit question 2. Has global inequality gone up since 2000? Most of my audience said yes, and that makes sense. We've seen the rise of billionaires in the top 0.01% and increasing inequality within countries. But the answer, to my own surprise, is C.
Peace out, safe.
Global inequality has actually gone down. But how's that possible?
To be very sort of blunt, reducing inequality between Malawi
and you guys were wrong. You guys said increase.
Is much more important than reducing inequality within the UK.
Although inequality within countries went up in many regions, the inequality between countries has gone down. The global top 10% now owns 74% of the wealth, which is less than before. And the bottom 50% own 2.1% of the wealth, which is not much, but still higher than in 2000. Developing countries are catching up. If we go back to 1990, the bubble chart looked like this. Almost 40% of the world lived in low-income countries. As the years passed, billions climbed out of poverty, and now most of the world lives in middle-income countries.
It takes time,
This doesn't mean that people aren't struggling or that we shouldn't worry about rising inequality within countries, but personally, I also think it's important that we acknowledge the progress that has been made. Most people, myself included, fail these questions because we don't have an accurate picture of the world. That's the video for today. Thank you for watching.
Damn, bro. I didn't know about this chart right here, dude. Like, what? Right here? Hold on now. Oh, the question. Okay, it's not gonna show it. But it was middle. The middle was where most of the population lived. Like, what? You got both wrong? Yeah, I got both wrong. Play Uzion now? What is Uzion, bro? What the is Uzion? Alright. Damn. What a video. Dude, that dude Elon Musk, man. Holy moly, bro. What, Tesla and SpaceX and the Boeing company. I mean, to be fair, he has a lot of companies that he started, that he built up, and they're worth so much money. But damn, I didn't know his wealth was like that. My goodness, bro.